All right, so now we have the basics of a data structure set up. We're going to start filling it out manually. You'll see I've dropped a car in, and we're going to start pulling information off of this car and copying it to our data structure. So to help me, I'm going to open my variant presenter, dock this over here. This way I can kind of see all the variants on this car. Remember, the data structure system is all variant driven. So I have my structure, my category for options, and my two options, red and black leather. So let's start with red leather. So I'm going to drop in a behavior to my red leather. I can rename this if I want to, red leather, but that's optional. So behaviors, we're going to start at the bottom. Behaviors are the bottommost level of this tree, this data structure. Behaviors are a little mini database that stores the information about a variant that you wish to trigger, wish to set. So when you click on your behavior, you go to raw properties, and then you just have three options. So what we're going to do is we're going to go fill these out. So I know I wanted this to be red leather. So this is my red leather area, my leather area. So I have a red sport. You can see it updating in there. So this is the information that this behavior needs to be the storage of. So the variant is the name of the variant, which is red sport. So I just type that in. The variant set is this set right here. So this is leather set color variant. And then the prim that is the owner of these variants is this guy right here. So the easiest way to do that is I select the prim on the stage, and I right click here, and I do copy prim path. And then I go back to my red leather, paste that. So now I have the very first part of my system. I have a behavior that says, this is one variant that I care about. It's the red sport variant on the leather set color set that's on this prim. So in later videos, we'll show how to take this data and then go do something with it. But remember, we're just building up our data first. So now that we've set up our behaviors for a red and black leather example, we're going to move up our data structure tree and go through all these other prims here. So the next category, the next level in this structure is our option. So the option has a couple things to fill out. So UI label is what the UI itself is going to display. So you want this to be, this can be kind of fancy sounding. So maybe this leather is called Magma Red Leather, right? That's what the brand name is or something. And the ID is what the internal system uses to track what's active and what's not active. So this can be pretty brief and abbreviated. So we're just going to call this red leather. The black leather, we want to do the same thing. So black leather as the ID, and the UI label, the user-facing label is dark leather. We also have an option. This is an optional thing you can do. You can put an icon in here to represent this option. An option is usually a button that you're clicking. This is the lowest level button. Not always though, because remember, this data structure doesn't know what the data is being used for. So in some situations, this might be attached to a button. Maybe in some other implementation, it's not a button, and it's in a list view or something with no images or something. The whole point is the data structure is ambivalent about how the data is used. It's the heart of our system, and it only keeps track of what variants are you wish to set and how you group them and which ones are active and not active. So if we go up one level from option, we have our category, and category has a similar thing. So we have a UI label, so we'll call this interior leather options. And then we have an ID, so we could just call it int options, just to make things easy and short. Current option is something that's going to be set by some of our graphs that you'll see in the next video. So this keeps track of what, in this category, we have option red leather and option black leather. This keeps track automatically for us of which one of these is the current one. And it uses the ID to do that. So I'm just going to type this in manually for now. So red leather, if I type this in here, nothing's going to happen yet, but that's what this purpose is for. So when someone wants the red leather to be active, the data structure is going to be switched to have that red leather as the current option. Or maybe it would be black leather, whatever these IDs are set to. And then the top level is our category. There's nothing really you need to do to set in the category. Eventually, this current category will do the similar thing to this current option. It'll read all the categories and fill out which of its current category is active. So we only have one category called int options. So we can mimic what that would be like there. And maybe we eventually have an exterior. So this would switch back and forth. So let's reinforce this idea, right? This data structure has no awareness or no ownership of what these options do or what this data does. It is just the storage mechanism for it. Because we're doing this all in USD, anything you have that can write to USD can access this. This doesn't necessarily have to be here in Kit or Composer. It doesn't have to be maybe a UI like on your viewport. It could be some custom solutions in Python or some extensions, or maybe there's a website that's reading into this USD structure and setting these values. The point of it is it's totally ambivalent and kind of dumb, right? The data structure doesn't care about what happens next. It doesn't have to worry about it. The next video we'll talk about how to set up the brains that actually do that stuff.